Hello YouTube. Okay, so this is my second attempt at showing how to the how-to on a slip bobber or sliding cord for a sliding float. My first video unfortunately was not as clear as I had liked it to be. Unfortunately, my camera decided that it wanted to do its own non-focusing, low-quality type of deal. So, take two on this how-to video. Alright, so what we have here is your basic necessities. Now, I was out at Lake Barkley fishing, and I wanted to use a sliding float rig. Unfortunately, I didn't have it. So here I have pre-set up already leader, swivel, bead, split shots, a small snap swivel, and a weighted float. Now this float here I like very much because it's got the weight at the bottom. You can buy a pack of 3 at Walmart for less than $2. Okay, now if you look over here, now I have already my bobber stopper with which the bead slides up to. So there's the bead, and then it stops at the bobber stopper. Now as far as the bobber stopper, you can always use something like, say, a piece of fishing line that you can tie on there, or a rubber band, a piece of cloth, anything that you can use that you can pretty much wind up onto your reel and cast out that will stop the bead. Now, moving on. Now that I have the tiny green bead on here that comes with most of your sliding float rigs, with the cloth line to tie on for your bobber stopper. Now I did actually happen to have those on hand, but I did not have any more sliding floats. So I would recommend, outside of doing this, would be to use a larger bead to go along with the smaller bead. Reason why is because the larger beads would help with the stopping of your snap swivel, but because the beads are larger, the holes are larger, and they'll slide right over your bobber stopper. So you're using the smaller bead to stop at the bobber stopper, so you have your, the appropriate depth with which you wish to fish. And then you have your larger one that will stop the entire setup from going any further. Now, once you have that on there, you will take your snap swivel. So, once again, you'll take your snap swivel, slide it on there. So now you have your sliding capabilities that will slide all the way up and stop at your stopper. Alright, so moving forward, next is going to be tying on to your leader. Now what I'm going to do is what I believe is called the improved clinch knot. And what that is you take your tag in, go through the eye of your swivel, your barrel swivel. Now you take your finger, hold on to that. Now you have pretty much what looks like either on my end a number 2 or an inverted S, and you wrap around 5 times. Now with the thinner lines like this braided line, you can get away with 5 wraps. But know that the thicker the line, the fewer the wraps, because it's going to be very hard to do this part, which is cinching down, pulling tight, and there. Then you want to cut off your tag end. Generally, I still leave a bit of tag end left on the line. I mean, for me, I like to catfish. As you see, my monofilament has a long tag in on there with the same knot. And the braided line also. Why? Because just in case if something happens and it just starts sliding through, that gives you enough leeway to where it doesn't slide that far, because sometimes you just don't tighten it that much. But the thing is, always get a good tight pull on your knots. Now, next I will be putting on the split shots. Now, my method for split shots is a bit unorthodox. Most people would place them here, close to your hook, to give that added extra advantage to help with keeping the line from twisting around your bobber. Now, not so with me. I like to be different. I am going to cinch mine closed up here on the back end of the swivel. Now with split shots, always pretty much use pliers to cinch them down good and tight, because they have a very bad habit of not wanting to stay closed on your line. And you close them onto your line, you think that they're on there good and tight. A few casts later, you have no split shots. It's always better to be safe than sorry. Alright, there we have the weighted aspect of this. And lastly, we are going to add on the float. Now, with most of your floats, you have your upper end, which has a nice little hook, and the bottom end also has the hook. Now you'll notice how it goes flush. Generally, your floats have two different ends. You can also turn it to where it's no longer flush and has a nice little space in between. That is where you take your snap swivel, go right in there, attach it to this, and there you have it, folks. You have your sliding float. Now, great aspect of this is once your float reaches its destination, which is the bobber stopper, one of the things is, because I buy the weighted kind from Walmart, they stay straight up and down. So as soon as you get a bite, you get the telltale sign of float going under. Another good aspect of this rig that I found out was the fact that, alright, most of your sliding float rigs, regardless of where the placement of your weights are, if you're trying to get a good distance on your cast, a lot of times your bait will come up and it'll wrap around your float. Well, because it is on this system here, when you get the wrapping desire or whatever from your bait and your line, the swivel turns with it. So, and I also noticed that during the cast, everything tends to fall forward and your float goes and stays level. So everything just works out perfectly. I'm sure there are other aspects to doing this that other people have their own ideas, and that's fine. This is just something that at the spur of the moment, bright idea comes along, hey, let me try this, and it worked beautifully. We didn't stay out there that long over at Lake Barkley. It was a new spot, and actually did pretty well. Me and my camera crew, Cassie, we both caught catfish. So, and as you see, using the treble hook, and I know you probably can't see the fibers on here, but yes, I was using the bait that I created, and it worked perfectly. It was almost to the point to where as soon as I cast out, float go under, and I mean, that's something that just does my heart wonders. So, and you guys make your own bait, either with my recipe or with your very own. It's just something about it that just is pleasing to the heart. So here we are with the new system for a sliding bobber. Thank you for watching. Like and share. Hope to see you soon.